Doggies and
All
all.
right, we got to do an intro. It's time. We're live. Okay, so it's been a while since we've been live. Well, not that long for Laura, but anyway, we created a new product that has taken a very long time, which actually is just the completion of a product we've been working on for a long time. So, the Underground Nexus, we have some open source software called the Underground Nexus. And what that is it's basically a technology used to basically build an autonomous business, which we've always tried to figure out how to market the thing until now it's complete. So it's a much easier thing to explain than in the past.
Yeah.
So I'll start with how did our product really start? So there was a time when we wanted to teach cloud by building a cloud. And what we ran into were a number of challenges to build a cloud replacement type of technology or alternative technology. So, what that led to was we actually had to learn a whole lot of things, including how in the world do you replace what makes AWS or Azure work, being cloud,
Mhm.
meaning that we had to find ways to govern what makes cloud work without engineers being in the background, meaning that we had to actually learn how to work with robotics. That sounds a little interesting. If you look at any of our stuff like the open source Underground Nexus, you'll see language like hardware acceleration. You'll see things like all this talk about infrastructure this and infrastructure that, and even AI being an integrated layer within all of that. So actually, what happened was, by the time we created something that worked like a cloud and as a cloud, it turns out that the resources that made our technology work to begin with actually is more valuable than the fact that its end result lets it work like a cloud. And so then I also found that it was really hard to sell a different type of cloud model just because people didn't quite understand, like, that sounds impossible. That sounds made up. So we realized, yes, while it can be used as a cloud and an autonomous one, because believe it or not, our business runs itself. Our business is generally autonomous. We don't have an IT, so we automated our IT away. We don't have cloud engineers. We automated having engineers away. We don't have like a big compliance team or anything like that. We actually just have just a really small core team. And so we actually built robotic structures. And eventually, as of this year, and even as of just the beginning of this month, we finished building a robot itself that is a little virtual
So
robot
great.
assistant. And it's not just AI, because all that AI stuff, believe it or not, AI wasn't really enough for us. AI hallucinates, it's unreliable for certain use cases, and it has areas where it's valuable. So ultimately, what we did was we used all of our technologies combined to build the equivalent of basically like a brainstem and a nervous system for infrastructure. Infrastructure means anything with a chip and RAM. Your self driving car has a chip and RAM. Nowadays, your smart home that has chips and RAM. If you have a smart fridge that has chips and RAM. Our technology actually integrates with anything that is based on modern chips and modern RAM. So then it allows you to actually make all of the things orchestrate together, run together as one. It doesn't matter if there are containers, bare metal servers, something that's not even a server that can walk around like quite literally a robot. And by the way, a lot of the technologies that we built is like, my background is I come from building things like data centers and also infrastructure for, places where they're building things like planes from scratch, where they have the little robotic arms going and lasering a cog, and then another arm comes over, lasers another cog. And so I come from building the background that makes all of those systems automatically work together so that you have manufacturing operations, plastics. And if you look at across our own background, there was a time when we were doing our own manufacturing, which we will one day get back to that. But this virtual layer became more important, where we didn't have the money to necessarily get a big team, but we had our minds and lots of past experience making things that run themselves. So maybe it's time for me to ask Laura to simplify what we've made, because it's called the Underground Twin, is sort of like the core of everything. And we have a whole lineup of products around this underground twin that will basically take over your whole business if you want it to and allow it to. And it's a twin of you. It's a twin of what you do. You raise it like a baby. It learns based on what you do, how you work, and we also will teach it for you and help it learn. And just like if you go and train an employee, then they know how to do some things and they'll do that work for you. If you teach it how to do some work for you, maybe there's some stuff that you hate doing, whether that could be compliance or security related, just teach it the things it needs to do. And hey, it's probably less time than training a lot of staff. And then it also doesn't need to eat or sleep. And it doesn't mean that people are necessarily out of jobs. That's a whole nother thing, because we're trying to also create jobs. Because let's be honest, the layoffs have already come and people are losing jobs already anyway. So we also decided, why not make it so that someone who maybe have the skills yourself to go and start a business, you don't need a team, you just need robots yourself. And do you need a job when you can just run your own company with your own robots and they're doing everything for you, and you don't need a huge team to do some fancy stuff? Maybe you come from a software engineering background, a data science background. For those of you who got laid off with those kinds of skills, don't worry, you don't need the team. You just need your own digital twin. And we're going to call that the underground twin, most likely. So, Laura, what in the world is this thing that we've created? What is a self-driving business?
Well, I think it goes back to a lot of what you were already saying, Nito, is the digital twin is essentially, how we were like, how do we keep our team small and efficient and maximize ourselves without working more? So, that was a big inspiration behind it. It was like, how can we take what we already know, take our own knowledge and skills, and then like create a digital twin essentially of ourselves to better serve our business. So that's essentially the concept for the digital twin, was us just, again, trying to replicate ourselves in a way that allows our business to become even more automated and automate ourselves even more out of the process. Because that's always, what we've always been about here at Cloud Underground is like automate the boring things, automate everything, automate the things you don't like, automate compliance, automate GRC, automate everything to make your business more secure. And I think another aspect of it too is like, of course, one of the biggest risks when it comes to cybersecurity is the human factor. And so if we can like cut that out as much as possible and have a digital twin that does more of what we do, then that just brings benefit to everyone. And then of course we want to help other people build digital twins of themselves for their own businesses.
Bingo.
Yeah. So that's a big part of what we're working on releasing right now, is a new index, essentially, where you can build your own private AI using the Underground Nexus and build your own digital twin within that private AI environment that you are hosting for yourself.
So. And I want to clear up some things.
Sure.
The AI is not the part that does the thinking. The AI actually just manages the brainstem and the nervous system. It just delivers things from what we created is actually close to the equivalent of like a brain and a brainstem system, where we decided that human intelligence tends to be overall more reliable. Mm-hmm. It's a human in the loop model where we actually send our own intelligence into the product itself too, so that you don't have to know all the latest architectures and all these things. So you're actually getting a twin that's learning how to think like you, but then it also already knows what we know and things that we know. And since we already have a business that runs itself and pipelines that run themselves, and we've just kind of, we even have customers using these technologies and things like that, even our customers' environments pretty much run themselves because it's autonomous, and then it uses AI to deliver things that the thinking and coming up with the official architectures and official things and official outcomes. We don't leave all of that to AI. AI can hallucinate right. And things like that. And so we do a lot to take stuff that normally we would teach to a person, and actually, believe it or not, our upcoming services, the stuff that we teach to your AI, we're creating a service where we will also be releasing monthly ebooks, where every month you'll get an ebook about the type of stuff that the AI is learning, where you can read it yourself. And the smarter you get, the smarter your AI gets too. Because if you don't know what you're asking the environment and all that stuff, and if you don't know what information's going through all of that, you don't know what you don't know. The smarter you get, the smarter your digital twin gets. And it is basically a twin that does the digital things that you would do. And then we are working on, as funny as it sounds, because it's actually a robotics platform at this point, we are actually building robots. That's super random. But it's not as random as you might think. You'll see our first thing that's going to come out is going to be a little security assistant. But we are working, like, it's going to be a while till we have things that are a little more like mobile and things like that. Just because that aspect is going to take a little more funding. It took already all the funding to get this far.
Yeah, long-term planning to have more autonomous, robots. But for now, we're gonna have, like Nathan said, a little digital, security assistant that will sit on your desk. It won't move yet, but down the road, hopefully, we'll have robots that also move.
Yes.
Long-term thinking and planning. But that's a big part of what we do too, is strategy and thinking ahead.
Honestly, Star Trek was a big inspiration. This sounds a little crazy, but I was like, well, in a sense, like it's like you have the little characters and they'd like be like hello computer and stuff, and I wanted to be able to like talk to my watch and be like, I need this to be done, and then I just know that it'll get done. It's like, okay, well, this is coming up, and then I might even be able to ask it questions like, well, what's going on at this one thing? I just want to be able to talk to it. So we actually had to go all the way into making our own software language and everything. But interestingly, I was like, well, should we make a software language for humans that they'll have to take time to learn and all? I was like, no, we're not going to make a software language for humans. We're going to make a software language for robots. And basically, this robotic structure, it will understand how to build its assembly, and all you have to do is talk to it. So from a human standpoint, it's a conversational language, and the robot then will understand how to organize what you're saying to it to then turn that into code, which means policy as code, compliance as code. All these different things can be packaged into code, and then the robot itself is able to orchestrate through this language that works through a layer of APIs, where then it sends information from this index that's like the brain. It's like the cortex, right? It's like all the stuff in there in this index. And then it takes the stuff that's like that brain stem, where then that works with that layer where there is a little AI in there, where it's sending the messages from something that's very specific to reduce the amount of, because AI is really good. If you're really rigid with AI and you say you have to do it exactly like this, the cortex has rules and requirements and guardrails and guidelines and all this stuff for the AI to be like, you are allowed to do this, you are not allowed to do these things. AI is really good at that, and if you're giving it room for creativity, humans are good at creativity. Robots are not really good at creativity, so we don't give creativity to the robot. The robot, it gets incredibly rigid rules, and so then it uses an API gateway where it then can send information to systems that might not even be in the same geological location, allowing it to then orchestrate hardware, containers, virtual appliances, all together. How does this go back to Star Trek? I was thinking, what if the Borg was real? Now that might sound terrible, kind of also like Skynet. Maybe that sounds terrible too, but someone had to start it. Anyway.
It's funny how like the collective consciousness always turns into like the enemy in these
always
sci-fi
turns into the bad guy,
which is kind of unfortunate because I think,
like, what if we get to it before the bad guys
like
do?
why can't we build a collective consciousness that actually has like human good in mind instead of like destruction? So
it turns basically all of your infrastructure into a Borg-like collective consciousness, which is why hosting with the Underground Nexus is not just a cloud. Hosting with the Underground Nexus orchestrates everything, which is why it also allows you to do policy as code, compliance as code, and just talk to it and it'll go and help with all these things. Maybe you don't know what a risk assessment is. Maybe you don't know how to run a risk assessment. Maybe you don't know what GRC is or compliance, and maybe you know that legally if you don't have these things, you're in a tight spot. So ultimately, our goal is to help you meet tricky things that put you in sticky, hot legal water. Or maybe you're not qualifying for those hot deals that require SOC
Right.
2 compliance where you're like, oh, snap, I'm trying to be a vendor for managed service providers, and managed service providers won't touch me because I'm not compliant with something like SOC 2, so people won't take a risk on me.
Mhm.
How do you make your company more likely that someone will take a risk on your business and trust your business? Well, we've decided to create something that'll help with that side of the journey. It's so helpful that even these little guys, they can help you run your business.
Augustus.
Isn't that right?
That's right.
Oh,
Augustus is getting
he's
blurred out.
in the blur.
He's
You
in the
gotta,
blur.
there you go.
Oh, there
Gotta
he
get him
is.
right there.
There he is.
Ready
He's
to
like
go.
squirming and ready to do something else.
They know that as long as that Borg-like consciousness is running everything, that you get to be the one who controls the machines.
Like, don't look at me.
And yeah, so basically, it is a thing that the environment, whoever governs that environment or owns that environment, is the one who makes the rules for that consciousness. Wow, digital consciousness. I don't know if we've ever really thought that would be a product that we build. But anyways, there you have it. So this is how we're building things that can be automated, things that can work for you, and things that don't require you to know all these fancy things. Because Laura, do you know how to do SOC 2 compliance all by yourself?
Not all by myself. That's why I have an amazing team and a digital twin.
That's right.
Yes.
And if you're getting attacked by online criminal assailants who have really screwed you over, do you know how to fight them off by yourself?
No, I would definitely need assistance.
You'd just be doomed.
Yeah.
So I decided, why not put all the things that I teach people, because I teach people all kinds of stuff. I teach people how to work with dark sites, aerospace engineering related things, data science related things. Advanced forensics. I help people build, compliance for all of the world's different types of things with all these common control frameworks together. But do I have time to teach all of that for free to people? No, not really. Or for the type of price that the digital twin product can do. For the first time, the one aspect that all of the digital twins, even though they'll also learn stuff about you, is it's also, in a sense, a twin of the things that I know and the things that people usually pay me hundreds of thousands of dollars for, just so that you know, an average rate for me to work with one customer on a full-time basis at all, and that's just one, mind you, is somewhere around $120,000 a year just for one. If I have 5 of those, that's quite a lot just people getting my time and attention and not even buying any software packages. The minute people buy something like a software asset from me, that goes up to somewhere north of $200,000 at least. And so now suddenly I'm like, how can someone get these benefits without spending $120,000 on someone like me, and without spending over $200,000 to also get that to integrate into your infrastructure? We just made a digital version of that also learns what you know. That can be what our team knows, what Laura knows, what I know, and what you know. Digital twins.
Yes.
And so one of the most interesting things is we kind of over-engineered our product, and we were like, well, our product is too much. We had even engineered it to be capable of fully replacing something like vSphere, where you don't even need a vSphere license, and it will still integrate with your existing vSphere license. So it will control your vSphere and scale beyond your vSphere for you, and let you have virtual machines that then maybe even work with other things, including Proxmox, KVM, QEMU, VirtualBox, whatever you're using, it'll orchestrate all those too.
That's
with
right.
its nervous system, which I'm like, oh, this is like way more than I thought. And I'm like, how do we explain this to people? There you have it. We were like, well, we're going to have to just make it as autonomous as possible, because if we're able to do so much, there's no way we could teach all of that to someone digital twin. So now we've decided to get into the business of self-driving businesses. We're like, hey, we have a self-driving business. Do you like not having to do all of that extra work that we used to have to do?
Absolutely, yes.
Do you remember when we used to need lots of IT help?
Oh, yes, absolutely.
For better or for worse?
Yeah.
Even we used to have
That's
lots
right.
of IT help.
Yeah.
We used to have rooms filled with physical appliances. Not that we don't now, but now instead of someone having to come and help manage all those physical appliances, we just boop,
Yep.
expand our stuff to it. And oh, got another thing. Boop, expand our stuff to that too.
That's right.
And do I have to train anyone how to set it all up?
Nah. Your digital twin does it for you.
I don't even know if you remember how to do things the old way.
Well, only because I have documentation for it. Otherwise, I wouldn't.
Well, now you can throw that documentation out the window.
No, you feed it into your digital twin.
Oh, there you go.
Your
Just
digital
feed it
twin
to the
learns
digital
it.
twin.
And then you never have to worry about remembering it ever again.
Yeah.
Because your digital twin will just know it.
Now you do have to authorize your digital twin to have access to take over things. So we created something called a super root model. A super root model says that a specific piece of hardware that you configure, basically, you have to let it decide that it's allowed to just take over the whole thing. And then, boom, autonomous. It will just take over the whole system for you. It'll run everything for you, and you might not like that.
Yeah.
Or you might like that. And we do use a human-in-the-loop process because we believe that you should be the validator, so it will seek out your approval for things by default. But you can also tell it to not seek out your approval and say, you know what? I don't want you to be the approver of things. Just go do random stuff. That may or may not go well for you.
All an experiment, I guess, if that's what you want to do.
That's right. And it's better than vibe coding. You can vibe code, or you can do what we do, which what we do isn't just AI. It's using AI is probably maybe like 10% of how it all works.
Right.
Realistically.
Right.
We've built like easily some of the code started in 2020, but some of the code that runs all of this started all the way back in 2011. That's right, 2011. There were automations that took from 2011, then we started refining that in 2016, and then that code got refined up to 2020, which means that it's been over 10 years that we've been working on all these automations, long before people were using consumer-based AI and things like that. And now the AI is a transmission layer that let us build, just like a nervous system to take over your machines and turn your entire business into a self-driving business. So there you have it.
There you have it.
There you have it.
So we got a lot of cool things coming up with Cloud Underground, a lot of things that we've been working on. Really exciting to actually get to talk about them, on stream.
That's right.
Now, and
more than cloud now.
More coming.
That's right. It's more than AI now. It's more than cloud now. All of those are just a part of what makes it all work.
Yeah.
Self-driving everything.
Yeah. All the pieces you need.
That's right. So we'll catch you.
Yeah. See you soon.